It's a beautiful day outside. The peonies are starting to bloom. Everyone's excited to see the sun and to see each other here, and I appreciate that. But if you wouldn't mind, the sisters like to get things started on time. So I want to welcome all of you to the 2025 Partners in Action Luncheon. My name is Tanya O'Rourke. I'm a news anchor at WCPO TV. And I'm happy to be here as your MC today. I was here last year too. It was a wonderful event. I was so happy to be back. And I'm honored to play such a little role, maybe, in supporting the ministries of the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur. My sons went to the Summit Country Day School from preschool through 8th grade. Woo! Yeah, you give it a whoop. That's fine with me. So I always will feel connected to the sisters and their educational mission. We are grateful that you were taking out your time, your busy day, you're taking a little time to be with us today. You know, you may not realize how important you are in everything the sisters are doing. You are, in fact, a vital part of the Sisters of Notre Dame community, helping to bring God's love to diverse people in Cincinnati, across the country, and indeed across the world. I really think you're going to enjoy the program today. We're celebrating the missionary life of Sister Dorothy Stang and the missionary hearts of each one of the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, who, in the words of poet Mary Oliver, use their one wild and precious life to make God's goodness known wherever they go. So let's get started by thanking the many generous friends and organizations that have made this year's Partners in Action Luncheon possible. You will see their names on the programs that you have in front of you and on the banners all around the room. But we want to give special recognition to our founding partner, and that is Fort Washington Investment Advisors, who generously have supported us for many years. So thank you to them, and thank you to all our sponsors, because we certainly could not do this without you. Yes, round of applause, please. I ask you to now help me in welcoming Sister Rita Sturwald. Sister Rita is going to introduce you to some of the missionary hearts that are sitting among us.
Thank you, Tanya. Hello, everyone. On behalf of all the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, I am delighted to welcome you to our 22nd Partners in Action Luncheon. You and I are here today because of two women, St. Julie Billiart and her friend, Françoise Bland de Bourdon, who co-founded the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur in France in 1804. Our congregation grew rapidly from there. 8 Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur arrived here in Cincinnati in 1840 and established our first convent and school in America, and then sent sisters to establish schools in other areas. St. Julie challenged us to have hearts as wide as the world, to make known God's goodness and to serve the poor, especially women in the most abandoned places. That call has inspired women to continue this mission for 221 years. I think you'll agree that is quite a legacy. As Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, we're committed to a worldwide mission. That mission is driven by our spirituality that honors the dignity and the sacredness of each person. Now, many people are with us today are inspiring examples of lives dedicated to that mission. There are many Sisters of Notre Dame in attendance, and so sisters, would you please stand or raise your hands so that we know that you're here? A number of Notre Dame associates are here as well. These lay women and men expand our mission by committing their lives to live in our spirituality. And so please, Notre Dame associates, please stand. We know you're speaking. Notre Dame Mission Volunteers are another way that the Sisters' mission continues to grow. Over 300 volunteers in partnership with AmeriCorps work across the U.S. to transform lives through education and service. Now, unfortunately, our mission volunteers cannot be with us today because they're doing what they do. They're out at schools and other service agencies volunteering on behalf of the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur and our mission. We also have with us today 18 ambassadors from our 4 Notre Dame schools who are assisting with the luncheon. You'll see them at the doors, and also they've been coming around the room distributing pens to your table. We hope you'll be inspired by the sisters' spirituality and the stories that you will hear today. Sister Dorothy Stang followed the call in her missionary heart to serve the people in Brazil for over 40 years. 20 years ago, Sister Dorothy became a martyr in the Amazon rainforest by following that call. Few of us are called to be martyrs, but we come together knowing that each of us has a part to play in this community of missionary hearts. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Sister Judy Clemens, who will lead us in prayer. Sister Judy.
Let us pray. Good and gracious God, giver of all life and beauty, you loved us and all creation into being. We gather this day in thanksgiving. Carve into the depths of our hearts your abiding goodness. Ever-present God, bless us with the grace to recognize your gifts and acknowledge them as yours, given to us in abundance to be shared. You invite us to delight in the lavish gift of creation. Gentle God, bless us with the gift of openness to dwell in the interconnectedness of all life, so vivid in the story of Sister Dorothy Stang. Engage us in creation's web of relationships today and every day. Bless us now as we break bread and share stories of goodness. In Jesus' name we pray.
That chocolate cake smells awfully good. Dig in. We'll get back to our program in just a little bit. Pardon the interruption. We certainly hope that you are enjoying your lunch. Has anyone tried the cake yet? Because I'm dying to get there. We're going to continue our program so that we can be sure to finish on time. We don't want to take too much of your precious day. So please help me in welcoming Sister Therese Del Genio to the podium.
Well, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for coming. I would like to share with you a few thoughts on what it is to have a missionary heart. Now, as a youngster, I imagined that having a missionary heart meant traveling to remote and exotic places, helping to convert people by helping them to believe what I believed. But that all changed when I became a Sister of Notre Dame de Namur. As I learned how Sister Dorothy Stang and Sister Joan Krim trained for their mission in Brazil, my idea of mission flipped. They learned about mission in reverse, The focus wasn't on what we sisters would do or teach, but rather what we would notice and learn about the culture, the family, and the needs of the people. We must be shaped, formed, and changed by our interactions with those we serve. Is a missionary heart given only to those who serve in faraway places? No. A missionary heart is given to every single one of us at birth. That mission calls us not to change the whole world, but rather to try to make our corner of the world a little bit better. The missionary heart beats stronger within a faith life and through a wide range of relationships. Jesus noticed those needs, the needs of those who were deaf, crippled, blind, ostracized, and hungry. His missionary heart proclaimed a loving God whose goodness is demonstrated by a community of people called to serve. Now, like Jesus, St. Julie answered the call from her missionary heart to address the needs right in front of her. So, the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, we look to the needs of others to know where to go. We're currently in 13 states, DC, and 11 countries around the world. And here are just a few examples of missionary hearts at work. Here in Cincinnati, sisters were concerned that children were going hungry without school lunches to nourish them during the long summer days. So, to help, we prepared and distributed lunches. To rescue women from human trafficking in Ohio, our sisters participated in the SOAP Project, a discreet way for trafficked women and girls to get help. They attached labels with helpline numbers on soap bars that went into hotel and motel restrooms. We saw women being released from prison in Michigan, trying to rebuild their lives without homes and without jobs. One sister founded 14 halfway houses to serve them. With immigrants at our nation's border needing food, showers, and literacy classes, our sisters stepped up to the plate to help their needs. My first call from my missionary heart was to teach middle school children. Later on, I noticed men, women, and children living on the streets of Chicago who needed food, clothing, shelter, and someone to affirm that God and people care. Southwest Chicago PADS was founded to do just that. Now I volunteer at the Center for Respite Care in Over the Rhine, providing help to people who are homeless and hospitalized with nowhere to go to recuperate when discharged. So our sisters have ministries close to home and around the world. In Haiti, people needed employment and food, and we helped build a bakery, taught the skills to run it, and delivered business training to keep it going. Across rural villages in Africa, we found babies dying and people sick with dysentery. Now, 8 clean water systems are installed and saving lives. We opened clinics in Nigeria and Zimbabwe for people who had no access to health care. The people in Congo said, "We need electricity to light our schools, homes, and workplaces." So we brought together resources for photovoltaic electric systems to do just that. And the list goes on. I'm often inspired by the missionary hearts of ordinary people around me. Your support of the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur is one way I see the missionary heart in you. Let's expand the love in our hearts and make them beat stronger as we notice the needs in front of us and work to make a difference. Now, please join us in celebrating the missionary heart of one of our sisters who inspired the world with her love, even unto death. Thank you.
Of course, she's talking about Sister Dorothy Stang. I should mention there are photos all around, if you have the time afterwards to take a look, of Dorothy Stang and of her work. She was born in Shiloh, Ohio, near Dayton. Her first mission as a sister was helping improve the lives of migrant farm workers in Arizona. After 16 years there, Sister Dorothy was sent to Brazil, where she spent nearly 4 decades in the Amazon forest. Her work has inspired people around the world, including a British student who set out to find her in 2004.
I'm on a mission. All I have is one lead, Dorothy, a nun who lives deep in the rainforest. I'd heard about her work, so wrote to her, and she has invited me to see for myself. All I have to do is find her.
And this is sort of the last safe port of call before I go, well, I don't know where I'm going. I just know that I'm meeting Dorothy, who's a nun. I think Dorothy's finally here.
Oh, come on by. Are you Sam?
I am.
Oh,
Big Brazilian hook, yeah?
I brought you a rose.
Thank you very much.
My favorite part of the whole film is she just is so joyful and so happy to see him and to welcome him. And I just imagine her being that way with all of us, with our students. Part of learning about Sister Dorothy is they watch the video, and it really makes Dorothy come alive for these students.
We have many magnificent animals, birds. We desire that the future generations have a chance to know about these.
She's always been someone I looked up to since freshman year. The way she carried out her mission is inspiring to how I can help the poor, help the environment, because she so selflessly did so.
Dorothy had got us up early that morning to avoid the logging traffic. She had to take us down part of the Trans-Amazonica, the Trans-Amazon Highway. It stretches over 2,000 kilometers across the Amazon basin.
Are they watching for us?
She told me about the massive problem of illegal logging. I could see huge logs out the window, just lying by the roadside, and knew this was what her fight was about.
Just come to a village in the heart of the Amazon. It's not on the map. It's not on any map.
These people are migrant peasants, poor and powerless. They've moved many times, clearing forest, planting crops, and finally forced to leave when the soil dies.
Hello, John Lennon. And these are Dorothy's friends.
What she was teaching the people in the Amazon was sustainable farming that she had learned from her dad. With 9 children, they survived with their garden, and all of the children had to help with the garden. And she loved the earth from the time she was small.
They have shorter trees in here that don't grow as fast as mahogany, so this will be a diversified area of bringing back new life to a land that was lost. And it is possible. We can renew the forest. Let's do it.
I was a year ahead of her at Julian. And when I was a senior, I told her I was going to enter the convent down here in Reading. And she said to me, well, if you think you're going down there by yourself, you're sadly mistaken. the list of the missions came out. So we ended up going on the same plane from here to Brazil.
It certainly reveals that we were having a good time.
She always loved to party. You can see here, she's having a good time.
I didn't know Sister Dorothy before I got to Brazil. Most of the time she wasn't there.
Most of the time she was in the interior.
And Dot would go off. That's when I learned that you can't just sit in a house and read and say, this is what we're going to do. You got to get out there. Now, Dot had opened the way, so what our job was going to be was to continue it.
Dorothy established this village as a chance for them to settle, to gain a little security, and at the same time protect the forest from the logging companies. In the face of constant threats from armed men trying to evict them, she knows they need strength. She tries to inspire this.
Esse é acampamento neste momento ou é assentamento? Vocês estão já tirando o suficiente para sobreviver aqui?
She was so passionate and is making such a difference here.
She was heavily involved in developing schools, developing unions. I respect her, I admire her, and I'm honored that she's my sister. Within a day or two, that could be a school. She was involved in the development of 30 schools.
Very often the landowners tore down the schools. You don't want anybody to be educated, because then you know what you don't have. And that's when we began to be the enemies of the wealthy.
These big farmers see it as a way to have cheap cattle grass. They can cut down thousands of hectares of this and burn it off, and they can raise thousands of head of cattle. And you can see that there's no canopy of the forest left.
She had a price on her head.
We knew she was on a death list. She knew she was on a death list.
All the sisters were begging her to leave.
I said, Dot, please be careful.
And she said, I can't flee.
She always said, they have no voice. If they try to talk, they'll get killed. I am free to speak for them, and that's what I will do. If I have to give my life, I'll give it.
The phone rings. She screams, it can't be.
He was pointing the revolver, and she held up the Bible, and she said, this is my weapon. And she started to read the Beatitudes. And they said when she got to, blessed are the peacemakers, they will be called the children of God. That's when he shot her.
The body of Dot was still in the interior because it was raining so hard. They couldn't bring her out. Some of the leaders said, everybody go to the morgue. This crowd is filled with people, all kinds. We're all there waiting. And all of a sudden they said, here she comes, here she comes. And then the people start chanting, Dorothy lives for, I could hardly say it myself, Dorothy lives forever and ever and ever. And that's what the people were chanting and chanting as this car came with the muddy body of Dot. So I went up and they kind of smeared off some of the mud and all of that. But do you know that when I saw her, she had a smile on her face. And to this day, I can never say Dot died, but that Dot lives forever and ever and ever.
A luta continue. Viva Irmã Dorothy!
How much does Dorothy's spirit live on in us, with us, and for us today?
Be glad and rejoice, for your reward is great in heaven.
At a 20th anniversary memorial mass in Cincinnati, Sister Dorothy's courage is remembered.
I know they want to kill me, but I will not go away.
Her spirit lives on in the books people write about her, and she's even inspired an opera, The Angel of the Amazon. A pilgrimage tour in Dayton of Sister Dorothy's life includes her star on the Walk of Fame.
Sister Dorothy and all martyrs, pray for our courage to respond to the needs of our day and time.
She has an historical marker at her high school, and the church she attended growing up displays her grade card. She is honored in the green burial section of this Dayton cemetery. But Sister Dorothy isn't really buried, she's planted, and her seeds continue to grow.
I have a framed picture of Sister Dorothy right next to my computer monitor, and I look at it every day when I first come to work, and I just think, what would Dorothy want me to do today? And I've just always been inspired by her. So when I heard about this relic being taken to Rome, I had said to my principal, wouldn't it be incredible if we could take students?
60 Mount Notre Dame students wrote essays about Sister Dorothy for the chance to be one of the 12 selected to go to Rome with her relics.
Attending the ceremony about Sister Dorothy, it was really inspiring and kind of life-changing in a way too.
Her relics will be forever on display in this Roman chapel honoring martyrs.
That trip really left a mark on me. I'm like a little seed of hers. I was born on the day that she died, and I hope to carry out what she's done, even if it's not going to be on such a big scale, just a little bit, just so I can plant my own seed in a way that she has. I think we're all seeds of Dorothy, especially once you hear her story.
Good and gracious God, today we remember the life and legacy of Sister Dorothy Stang. For her spirit lives on in all who work for justice. Bless these students who share their projects today.
For our project, we decided to make a homegrown national park on CJ's campus.
This garden is to serve a long-lasting reminder of the importance of caring for our planet, just as Sister Dorothy did.
There's about 700,000 miles of U.S. waterways that are polluted in some sort of way.
Our plan is to pick up trash along either side of the river by Carillon Park.
Deforestation is forest loss that never recovers and never regrows. Sister Dorothy Stang, CJ alum, also was a very valuable resource.
This student group decided to teach the importance of trees to preschoolers.
You want to pick one out? What kind of animals do you guys think need trees?
It's squirrels.
Squirrels? Yeah.
Squirrels, yeah.
They climb up the trees.
The guys who killed her thought by killing her, then they could go out and take this land. But it didn't work that way. And the whole town, everybody was having funerals for Dot. And they always ended it by saying, and Dorothy lives forever and ever and ever. She brought us all together, and we continue to fight to get land for all people and not just for the rich.
Our people live very simply and happily without having so many things. So we have to learn to have the necessary things of life and not ask ourselves, what do we want, but what do I need?
I think we can all agree, based on watching that she is an incredible inspiration, not just to the young people we saw in that video, which is so wonderful to see that they are planting her seeds, but we all can be as well. Sister Kathleen Harmon, provincial leader of the Ohio province of the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, is here to share her story about the recent trip to the Vatican. She witnessed firsthand how Sister Dorothy Stang has inspired and continues to inspire people around the world. Everyone, please help me and join me, that is, in welcoming Sister Kathleen Harmon.
It's pretty powerful and humbling to be asked to speak to you after watching that video, because every time I am moved to tears. Dorothy's body, as you heard in the video, laid in the mud of the Amazon Trail after she had been shot down. And her cap had been knocked off her head. It was lying a few feet away, also covered in her blood. The people she loved and had worked with came running. They gathered, but they stayed hidden in the forest because they did not know where the gunmen were. One woman snuck out of hiding, went up to Dorothy's body, grabbed the bloodied cap she wore, and then gathered up some of the soil drenched in Dorothy's blood and crawled back into hiding again in the trees. To this day, we don't know that woman's name. But she passed these relics, the bloodied cap and the bloodied soil, on to our sisters in Brazil, who then sent these gifts to us here in Cincinnati. For 20 years, we have kept these relics on display, preserved, in the Dorothy Stang Memorial Room in our museum at Mount Notre Dame Province Center in Reading. It is always available for you to come and see. We also gave some of the bloodied soil to Sister Joan, whom you've seen on the film. And Joan, I know you're here, but can you raise your hand? There, Joan, thank you. As you know from the video, Joan was Dorothy's best friend. They entered together and then they served together in Brazil. So some of the soil was given to Joan. She had kept it preserved for 20 years in a beautiful little reliquary in a corner of her room that was a place of prayer. Two years ago, we received a request to give a relic of Dorothy to be entered into the Museum of Modern Day Martyrs in Rome, in the Basilica of St. Bartholomew. Dorothy would be the first American woman to be honored in this museum. And the request for this relic came from the community of San Egidio. They are a lay association, 70,000 members across the world, who act for peace, justice, and social action for those in need. They are the ones who take care of this museum. Now, here's what happened to us. We received this request, but we hesitated. A first-class relic is very rare, and it's invaluable. To give it away is not a small decision. So we kept pondering, and this is what happened. Sister Joan spoke up. She said, "Take the blood-soaked soil I have held dear all these years and give it to the whole world." Then Mount Notre Dame High School contacted us. You've seen from the video. Our students love Dorothy. She is their saint for this time in history. And we're going to send 12 students to that event in Rome. We also heard from Emmanuel College in Boston, which is owned by the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, that they would be sending students to this event because they know and love Dorothy and want to be part of her mission. Then we heard from the Stang family. I got a scribbled handwritten note from her brother Tom, and it said, "We'll be there, 25 of us." Well, guess what? I guess we better go. It was so clear to us how important Dorothy was to the entire world. So myself and also Teresa Phillips. Teresa, where are you? Can you show a hand? I know, there she is over there with Joan. Teresa is our coordinator of justice, peace, and care of creation. So the province sent Teresa and me, representing all the sisters, and we took the bloodstained soil, and we also had a sweater that belonged to Dorothy with her name stitched in the back. This sweater was worn by Sister Rebecca Spires, who did show up in the video, who still serves in Brazil. Rebecca wore that sweater to all 12 of the trials of the assassins, including when she had to stand up and testify, wearing Dorothy's sweater. And Rebecca sent us that sweater also to take to Rome. So Teresa and I left, and we took the soil, we took the sweater. We were not prepared, however, for what the experience of this event in Rome what it would be and what it would do. We discovered, first of all, that it was Pope John Paul II who founded the Museum of Modern Day Martyrs. He said, "We are aware of many martyrs in the early history of the church who gave their lives for Christ and gave their lives for others. But people aren't aware that there are people today giving their lives." So he founded this museum. He asked for it to be placed at this Basilica of St. Bartholomew in Rome, and he was the one who assigned the community of San Egidio to take care of the museum. When Teresa and I got there, and we had the students from Mount Notre Dame and the students from Emmanuel College with us. This museum is laid out, it's not a big room full of things, it's a winding pathway so that you walk by these stories and relics of people who've given their lives as if you're walking on a pilgrimage. And when you come out the other side, there was more than one student crying. And that museum contains not only relics of Catholic martyrs, but there are evangelical Christians and Orthodox Christians there. It's an ecumenical gathering of people with the courage to lay down their lives for justice and for what is right. Teresa and I then went upstairs from the museum to gather actually in the basilica space for the ritual. It was another event we weren't prepared for. The basilica was packed. They kept bringing in more and more folding chairs to accommodate the crowd. It was clear to us that Dorothy was already loved by the entire world as a saint for our times. As Teresa and I, and you did see a little clip of it in the video, we processed down the steps, the marble steps from the high altar there, carrying the relics. I was already crying, so was Teresa. And when we got to the side altar where we would permanently place these relics, next to the relic of Saint Oscar Romero, we cried harder. Dorothy was uniquely graced with a missionary heart. She embraced the whole earth as God's gracious gift of life to us. She embraced every person she met, even her enemies, as persons beloved by God. She fought for the oppressed and for the earth with a will of iron and a heart of compassion. Her smile, and as Sister Jo Depweg told us in the video, even when she's dead, they're looking at her body and there's that beautiful smile. We who went to this event in Rome left more committed to the work for which Dorothy had given her life. And we left knowing we were part of a worldwide community that's committed to carrying forth Dorothy's legacy. I hope that you too feel part of this worldwide community. And may Dorothy's missionary heart continue to beat in the world because of you.
Thank you, Sister Kathy, for those beautiful words and inspiring as well. It is my pleasure right now to bring to the podium Mr. Mike Caudell. Mike brings his corporate leadership skills to the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur as chair of the Development Advisory Board. So everyone, please welcome Mike Caudell.
How do you follow any of that? But I think I have the easiest job here today. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you again. I hope the stories you've heard help you appreciate the incredible love in the hearts of the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, and how that love is alive, well, and working in the world today. Maybe you were already familiar with the Sisters' work. But for those of you who are just learning about the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, I hope this program has shed some light on the incredibly valuable work that they do and how critical it is for their mission to continue. We've heard how the Sisters' spirituality and dedication to sharing God's goodness drive everything they do. Whether it's Sister Teresa's ministry with the sick and homeless in Over the Rhine, or the Sisters in Arizona bringing comfort and care to immigrants in need, or engineers and sisters in Africa bringing basics like water, electricity, and health care to people in remote villages. We watched the remarkable story of Sister Dorothy Stang and learned how her work lives on. In elementary and high school students in our schools, in Brazil, where our sisters and other activists are still fighting for human rights and the environment. And in the spiritual lives of people all around the world, as evidenced in the story you heard from Sister Kathy about her trip to Rome. It's powerful to think that each of us is given a missionary heart at birth. I'd like to take a moment to address that missionary heart in each of you. Many of your gifts in the past have made all of this possible. As the sisters continue their mission to be witnesses to God's love in everyone, especially to people living in poverty, they count on you and me to be partners with them in keeping their ministries alive. It's hard to believe, but the sisters don't receive funding from any diocese where they live or work. They never have. That's why our support is so important. They rely on financial investment from partners and friends to fulfill their mission to serve. As businessmen and women, we're trained to look at the bottom line, weighing the cost of our investments against their impact. We ask, are they worth it? I think we can reasonably say that the impact of our investment in the sisters is changing lives. The impact is improving our community and changing the world. In my book, that makes it one of the most important investments any of us can make. Now that you've heard the sisters' stories, I'm asking you to contribute to their ongoing success. We are requesting what's needed most: financial support that enables the sisters to continue their work here and wherever they go. Now I'd like to ask our table host to distribute the pledge cards. The pledge levels on the card are in some way symbolic, but they represent the real cost of carrying out the sisters' programs. Joining me as a member of the Sisters Partners in Action Society is one way to exercise your missionary heart. Some of you are already members. Please accept our sincerest thanks. We hope you are renewing your membership and are gratified to see the impact of your commitment. The first giving level in the Partners in Action Society is a pledge of $500 each year for 5 years. $500 is the approximate cost of funding the living expenses of a sister for 2 weeks. If you'll consider a gift at this level, which is an average of $42 a month, you will allow a sister to continue to live and work with the poor in our city. If you can consider a gift of $1,000 each year for 5 years, you'll allow a sister to serve for 3 months for an average of $84 per month. We know some of you may be part of a company or a foundation, or you may just be in a position to give more. If you'll consider a gift of $5,000 per year for 5 years, you'll support a sister for 142 days, or for nearly half a year. If you can give at this level, your gift will have a major impact in allowing the sisters to do more. Now, we know and respect that we all have different financial means. So we provide the next fill-in-the-blank line. On this line, please tell us how much you would like to give and for how many years. We truly appreciate whatever level of support you can provide. If you'd like to make a gift today with a credit card, please stop by the table just outside the ballroom doors. Bring your pledge card with you and we'll process your gift in a matter of seconds. Or you can point your phone at the QR code on the pledge card to go to the sisters' website and you can make your gift there. I'm always touched by the depth of the sisters' commitment to others and the value of their good works, some of which you've heard about today. Every program, every ministry the sisters are involved in changes lives. I hope that many of you have already chosen one of these options. If not, perhaps you want more information or you simply have some great ideas for us. Please check the last box, the one that says, "Please contact me. I have other thoughts to share." Whatever gift you've chosen to make today, or if you have simply given the gift of your valuable time to be here, I sincerely thank each of you. You are helping the sisters serve those who need it most by hearing and sharing their stories and being here. I'll give you some time now to finish filling out the cards, and when you're finished, please pass your envelopes back to your table host. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to be here this afternoon. We hope you've enjoyed yourself and learned more about the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur and their work. Please have a great day.
Thank you very much, Mike. We would like to invite everyone to help us continue this conversation, to share the sisters' spirituality and spread the goodness of God worldwide. If you enjoy social media, don't we all, in some way, we hope you'll capture a photo of the people at your table and share it with the hashtag SNDPIA. You see it right there on your screen. And we say once more, thank you to all of you. Thank you for sharing your time with us and for being a partner in action with the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur. Sister Kathleen Harmon is coming up to offer a special blessing that goes out to each of you as our program comes to a close.
On behalf of all the Sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, I offer this blessing over you. May your hearts be filled with the goodness of God. May you spread God's goodness everywhere. May you be to all you meet the goodness that you are. Amen.
That was beautiful. I want to encourage each and every one of you to take a few minutes and go around the room and look at all of the posters that have been created about Sister Dorothy and her incredible work. And I want to thank you. It has been an absolute pleasure to be with you today. We hope you enjoy this beautiful day. Thank you for being with us.